The Truman Show and parasocial relationships are both closely tied topics, but before we can unravel the horror that is The Truman Show, let's first identify what parasocial relationships are. According to the National Institute of Health, parasocial relationships are non-reciprocal, emotionally reliant relationships, often with a celebrity or social media influencer. These are purely one-sided and are a byproduct of loneliness and a desire for connection. This desire for personal connection and immense attachment stems into all aspects of this individual's life. This, of course, can be represented through the actions and the behavior of the fans and how they respond to the celebrity. Where healthy fans show a general interest in the content created by the celebrity, unhealthy fans have a tendency to ravel themselves up in the idea of this person, almost believing that they have their own personal connection with them. Despite the relationship being one-sided, both ends are poorly affected by this unhealthy attachment. This, of course, being the side of the celebrity that does not reciprocate these feelings. The affected influencer will often hear or witness the obsessive behavior of their fans develop as they become more popular. This can lead to paranoia and anxiety within the celebrity, fearing stalkers and private information about themselves being leaked. Now, based on that information, we might be inclined to believe that the celebrity is the only victim in this scenario. However, both sides are in constant distress because of this attachment. So, now, how does this relate to The Truman Show? Well, let's analyze some parallels between the two. So let's set the stage. What is The Truman Show? The Truman Show is about a man whose life, 24/7, 365 days a year since birth, has been broadcast to the world, being the most popular TV show on Earth as it allows personal and close-up experience into the life of an individual. Yet what makes it so special is that Truman Burbank is completely unaware that the whole world is watching through millions of cameras, and everyone he's ever known in the city of Seaside is a paid actor, as those shown up on screen. And we can't forget the audience. They're the reason why the show exists in the first place. We've been given multiple examples throughout the movie of diverse groups of people watching, from the young to the old and even people halfway across the globe. Each of these characters show just how captivated the world is by the concept that is The Truman Show. So, how does this story exemplify parasocial relationships? Great wordplay done by Peter Weir shows that Truman is the true man of the show, as he is unapologetically himself in comparison to the actors around him. Whereas Christoph's name is Christ of what? Truman, of course, as he directs the show from a fake moon and considers himself the creator of Truman's World, a true god complex in the making. Regardless of the fun wordplay, these two have a very interesting relationship. Christoph, towards the beginning of the movie, portrays himself as a director with an almost fatherly care for Truman. However, the more suspicious Truman becomes and the closer to freedom, the more violent and controlling Christoph reacts. He even goes so far at the end of the movie to break the magic that made the show so special to manipulate Truman into staying. This, of course, does not persuade Truman, as he's come too far and cannot return to Seaside knowing the horrible truth, that he is the only real thing about that city. For Truman's perspective, he doesn't know of Christoph until the very end of the movie. In the climax, he does acknowledge that there must be some higher power, otherwise is completely unaware of Christoph, only until Christoph reveals himself. Is Truman able to place the blame of all the lies, deceit, and misfortune onto someone, that person, of course, being Christoph. Christoph's emotional dependency on Truman proves itself quite a few times throughout this movie, whether it be the constant surveillance or petting/stroking of the screen whenever Truman's sleeping or worried, which is really creepy to be completely honest. More importantly, Christoph harbors this need to be a part of everything that is Truman, just in a adjacent, distant father kind of way. The ending to The Truman Show has this fantastic scene where Truman is making his escape across the water, which is significant because Truman has been afraid of water ever since his quote-unquote dad supposedly died in a boating accident. But this revelation about the fabricated world gave him the power to get through it. Though once he gets into the water, Christoph and the directing team start manipulating the weather to stop him. It's some pretty advanced technology. And of course, he tries to use this to threaten Truman.
Give me some lightning. Again. Hit him again. We can't let him die in front of a live audience. He was born in front of a live audience.
The best you can do! You're gonna have to kill me! What you would do with a drunken stand up?
What happens to you?
That scene perfectly exemplifies the possessive nature of parasocial relationships, as Christoph does everything in his power to hold control over Truman, even risking killing him, losing sponsors, and the Truman Show losing what made it special if Truman became self-aware. Christoph's infatuation and obsession with Truman is his own downfall, because of course Truman is persevering and throwing everything into it as he has. Truman was a victim of parasocial relationships from his fans, loved one, and of course his creator, though this did not stop him from trying to pursue his own sense of freedom. Despite Truman making it out, he will forever live with the fear of his fans, being that he is the most famous person in the world. Yet we will never know. That is the beauty and the horror of this movie. We are left longing for answers. But that's a sign that Truman won. He found his own freedom away from the prying eyes of the world.
I want to talk to him. Truman. You can speak. I can hear you.
Who are you?
I am the creator of a television show that gives hope and joy and inspiration to millions.
Then who am I?
You're the star.
Was nothing real?
You were real. That's what made you so good to watch. It's okay, Truman. I understand. I have been watching you your whole life. I was watching when you were born. I was watching when you took your first step. I watched you on your first day of school. The episode when you lost your first tooth. You can't leave, Truman. You belong here. With me. Talk to me. Say something. Well, say something, goddammit. You're on television. You're live to the whole world.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yeah.
Cease transmission.
Ceasing transmission.
And that is the final nail in the coffin, showing how perfectly it represents parasocial relationships. Kristoff becoming so entirely obsessed and compassionate for Truman is that beautiful representation we were looking for. And the best part is that Truman does not give in. He accepts that it happened and he moves forward to his own freedom, taking it for himself. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.